On persistence, a better mousetrap. There's a saying that I've heard all my life. Build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door. Wikipedia gives a history of the phrase, saying that it is actually a misquote, said originally by Ralph Waldo Emerson. The mousetrap that we normally think of is the cheap wood and wire gadget that I have known about all my life. I remember playing with one as a kid. It was invented 10 years after the death of Emerson, who actually said nothing about mousetraps. According to sources in Wikipedia, the idea of building a better mousetrap has become a metaphor about the power of innovation, and it is frequently taken literally, with more than 4,400 patents issued by the United States Patent and Trademark Office for new mousetraps, with thousands more unsuccessful applicants, making them the most frequently invented device in U.S. history. So I can be rather dense sometimes. Last fall, when the weather was getting colder, I noticed mouse droppings in the utensil drawer in my kitchen. Can't have that. I went to the store and bought Decon, a rat poison I had used before. This time, instead of the usual deadly pellets, the Decon was an interesting block design, much larger in size and in a pretty blue-green color, to be used inside a box to ensure safety. Decon is safer now. Without children and pets around, I decided not to fool with the box, but just put the Decon in the utensil drawer, separate from the utensils, of course. The mice came and enjoyed the meal of Decon, but nothing changed, as evidenced by ongoing droppings. The next step was peppermint oil. It smelled nice to me, but the droppings were only diminished, and after experiencing peppermint-flavored chicken and rice casserole, it was time to move on. So I know this lady who has a barn and farm animals and knew she probably had experience with mice getting into the house. Mousetraps, of course. The feelings of inadequacy came back. So I went online and looked at a variety of mousetraps and chose the best seller for $15. It arrived in 2 days. 6 came in a box. They were easy to set and looked like black plastic monster mouths with sharp teeth. There was a tongue lever inside with a hole in it, and beneath the hole was an ingenious little bowl for peanut butter. And it was big enough to kill a large rat. The mouse came that night and ate the peanut butter, but it apparently did not weigh enough to depress the tongue lever. The mouth was still open. That went on for a few nights. The mouse was outsmarting me. It was a challenge. I would win. But how? At the grocery store, I came upon plain, cheap, old-fashioned mousetraps, 2 for $1.50. Coincidentally, the farm lady showed up again with smaller versions of the big monster mouth, a mini monster, just for mice. Great! That night I decided to do a mini contest of the 2 new mousetraps to see which one would win. I set both and put peanut butter on both. Success! The old-fashioned wood and wire mousetrap came down at the base of its neck and death was instant. I was reminded of the French guillotine and of the beheaded wives of Henry VIII. The peanut butter in the mini monster mouth had been eaten. The mouth was still open. So I don't know about this idea of building better mousetraps, although the amount of money to be had as the world beats a path to my door is appealing. After all, how many millions of dollars have been made as people like me spend money on better mousetraps? But I wonder, is it also the case that building a better mousetrap is often a matter of reinventing the wheel? I suppose a lesson in this story would be in the value of persistence. When you want to achieve a goal, it is important and probably necessary that you be persistent so that the goal will be reached. It is what successful people do.